IPP prisoner, indeterminate public protection. It was a sentence designed for people of terror and people who like children, etc. You know what I'm saying. It was designed for the worst. David Blunkett, Labour MP, had a lot to do with it, and he will openly tell you now it is a blight on his career. Danny Weatherson received said sentence. I believe he got 18-month tariff, did over a decade, maybe 14 years. Big campaign to get this lad out. He's just been locked up again. Upset for family and friends, and dismay at the system, no doubt. So let me tell you about Danny, because we're all very judgmental, aren't we? If you see his criminal history, you'll say he deserved it. Horrendous criminal history. Petty criminal for me. However, they're always victims. So before this lad was 10 years old, he suffered horrendous trauma. We all have choices in life, different paths, but sadly, people's childhoods can shape their future. So he served a long sentence, a big campaign to get him out. He's finally been released by parole, the parole board. These lads and lasses on this sentence, the reason they've not got out on parole boards is terms and conditions of their sentence. Yeah, there's courses they needed to do in order to get out. One lad, 5 years, stuck in one prison, waiting to get to a prison where he could complete said course. It's appalling. It's a black mark on the prison service. The government knows all about this now. There's one or two politicians who put their heads above the parapet. David Blunkett himself has said it's disgraceful. The sentence was abolished a long time ago, yet people are still stuck in the system. So Danny, 2 weeks before his parole, he's been involved in an incident, he's been restrained. I'll come back to the incident shortly. Here's the thing though, guys, here's the thing. These prisoners are mothersome. So let's look at it from their point of view. 18 months comes and goes for Danny. 3 years, 5 years, not a chance of getting out, no light at the end of the tunnel. Parole board say no. Where'd you go? You lose hope, you lose hope. A lot of them mentally destroyed. They become disruptive, some of the most disruptive prisoners in England and Wales. Nowhere to go. Poor mental health, self-harming in itself, and I'm going to grade. I'm going to give you my score for self-harm, 1 to 10, and explain it. But self-harming it's a pain for prison officers. They don't want to deal with it. It's paperwork. It's getting someone to see the nurse. An ACT document, the suicide and self-harm document, that needs to be filled in regular. People see it as a pain. They don't want to know. When I was at Strangeways, I worked on the hospital wing. It's like other wing, but it had people on it, mostly people who were mentally unwell. Some IPP prisoners. One who took his own life. He told me he was going to, I reported it. He said everything he needed to do to get off the healthcare, and he took his own life. No light at the end of the tunnel for him. Horrendous childhood, trauma and abuse. Sad, sad tale. But people used to try and get prisoners who self-harm put on the healthcare. Self-harming is pretty close to home. I feel I have a good understanding. There is a lot of manipulation in prison. Probably. Brian! Here! Come here. Come on. Go. Come on. Go. Just like his elder brother Stephen, who's no longer with us, as a penchant for horse manure. Come on, you little monkey. You come with me now. Come on. Come on. What's this? You've well put me off my vlog. 1 to 10, self-harming. 1 to 4 is manipulation. Yeah? Vast majority of prisoners is manipulation. I've got no tobacco when they used to be able to smoke. Brian! This way. Come on. Come on. Got no tobacco. I'm going to kill myself if you don't move my wings. They're in debt. You see where I'm coming from. 4 to 8, they're people who have self-harmed probably for a long time, childhood trauma and the like. Some of them will come into prison and you won't even know the self-harmers. They keep it hidden. At the far end, 7, 8, they might have to come to you. We had them on K-Wing. Mr. Samworth, sorry to trouble you, can you get the nurse? You knew what I'd done and it'd be bad. Maybe hospital stitches or staples. Sad. Very small percentage of prisoners come in that bracket, 4 to 8. And then the 9 and 10s, they're people who, regardless of any consequences, chop away at themselves and the like. They're at risk of dying. A lot of these IPP prisoners are in that top end. There's no hope. Imagine being in prison. There's no date. You've got no date to get out, nothing to look forward to. You make friends, they're coming and going. And you're stuck in prison. So he's in a restraint. He's got beef with his female officer. From the article I read, it says, and it must have come from the prison side, he had problems with her holidays and the like. It tells a story. It's a background to the incident. He's been restrained by 2 officers. You can restrain prisoners on the feet. Danny is a big lad. He's been taken to the floor. So he's prone when he's taken to the floor, on your bone, meat and 2 veg. It's on your front. He said he managed to free a leg. Other than a relocation, yeah, or a cell move in the segregation, maybe, with a violent prisoner, you do not use leg locks on prisoners. You may well pin them on a wing, somebody or 3 or 4 people holding someone's legs, taking a power base away. So I'm thinking Danny's on his spine, supine on your spine. He's got his leg out, he's wrapped it around, over her shoulder and around an officer's neck. She's got some sort of injury, sprained neck. And that's what he's gone to prison for. It's rained. Now, there is a backstory, there's an impact statement, PTSD, 6 months off work and the like. That's not in question. It's just a sad state of affairs. I know the problem these lads have, and I know the problem staff have. I've dealt with the worst, or some of the worst IPP prisoners. They are troublesome, to say the least. Really troublesome. Yeah? They've got nothing to lose. 99 years, it says, on their paperwork. They are mitherson. People can't deal with them. Personality disorders. You know, some end up in mental hospitals. There's IPP prisoners I know who've got out from hospital. That's their best chance. Prison is not a good place for them. Politicians know about this sentence. There's politicians that put their heads above the parapet and are fighting the cause. Massive campaign for Danny, but he's back inside. Tragic. And we're letting riffraff and trash and people who like children out on early release. God bless all the IPP prisoners, families, friends, campaigners. God bless you all. Thanks for coming. Thanks for your continued support. Brian, I'll sit there.